Today, I'm joined by Michael Siani, outfielder within the Cincinnati Reds organization for our first ever interview on the podcast. So, Mike, how you doing?
I'm good, Ryan. Doing well, hanging in there. How are you?
I'm doing all right. Just got done school finally, but you wouldn't know about that. But it's a relief. But let's get to the interview. I'm excited to do this. So, Mike, how have you been
Yeah, for
holding
sure.
up with the virus, and especially when it comes to still training and working out for baseball?
Yeah, um, it's been tough. It hasn't. We've made the best of it. I have my brother with me. He plays for. He's in the Pirates organization, so we've been able to work out together a little bit. Go outside and throw when we can, and then we have a cage that we have access to hit at. But obviously, no live game situation stuff really, which sucks. But we're trying to make the most of what we got.
Yeah, it must be really weird, especially playing baseball like all year round since you were so young, and then kind of going. It's probably the
Yeah, this
longest
is
you've gone
kind
without
of
it.
for sure. Yeah, the longest it's been without playing in the game. Yeah.
Yeah. So when the virus like really first started to hit here and it kind of started getting crazy, it was like right during spring training. Opening day was kind of around the corner for the major leagues. So kind of what was that like to be dragged away from your teammates and the organization in such a sudden manner?
Yeah, it was we were about to get going with minor league spring training. Obviously, major league spring training was well underway and getting into the heat of things and they were getting ready to go. So it was kind of weird. I was kind of lucky enough to go a little bit early to spring training, so I'd been there for a little bit, so I did get some reps in, like on a field and stuff like that. But there were a lot of minor league guys that showed up a day or two before they sent everybody home. So it was kind of just like, we saw all the news that was going on. We saw the NBA had gotten canceled. So we kind of figured that there was going to be some changes going on with us. We didn't know what they were. We just kind of figured we wouldn't really be traveling for any spring training games. Probably just be doing it all. But we didn't really realize until the day before we were out of there that something big was going to happen, and they brought everybody in for a full organizational meeting and kind of explained to us what the situation was, and that we didn't really have too much of an option. They did give us the option to stay, in Arizona and have limited access to the facility, but that ended up getting changed a couple days later when they realized that they couldn't even let anybody into the complex. You kind of had no choice but to go home. So that was kind of just how it happened really, really quick and happened all of a sudden. So obviously something that nobody expected, but kind of just had to roll with it.
Well, have you like since then? I mean, I assume you've been in like contact with the organization, but any updates on the minor league season ever getting underway? I mean, I've read some stuff that there's probably no chance that they're playing, and I mean, also the
Yeah,
minor league teams, they depend on the revenue. Basically, all comes from in-person games, and it sounds like if there are any games potentially for baseball again, it's going to be without the fans.
yeah. It's kind of a weird situation. There's honestly not like a definite answer out right now about anything. I know they're going on, just like the whole scheduling, health, and stuff like that with that situation. But the minor league honestly hasn't really come up with a decision yet. I've been in contact with a lot of the Reds guys, staff, other players, and they just want to check in and make sure everything's going all right, everybody's healthy, and kind of just staying in shape somewhat, just staying hot, in case we do get the call, whenever that may be, that something might be going on. So it's kind of just a waiting game, I guess, and just taking it one day at a time.
All right. But before you were taken away, spring training, like we were saying, was going on and whatnot. How you feel that you've developed as a player over the past year since you got that full first season of minor league ball under
Yeah.
your belt? You played a few months during your like rookie season, but last year was your first full year. How do you feel that you've come along as a player since high school?
Yeah, it was first full season was definitely like a huge step forward. Just playing, in 140. I didn't play in all 140 games, but I played in most of them, 125, I think. So just being there all summer, being in the same place, having that schedule, playing every day, was definitely a huge step. I thought, I didn't start off the year like ideally like very well, but as it went on and as I got going a little bit, it definitely got a lot better. And it was definitely like a big transition. I obviously never played in that many games before in one summer in my life.
Yeah.
It was a good experience, and we had a good time. So transitioning it into this past off season and getting ready for this spring, I felt like I was in a good spot, just in shape and getting a little for another 140 games this year. Obviously, it doesn't look like it's going to happen. We're already a little late on the start of the season anyway, obviously, but I was excited, ready to go. Ideally, I was going to start in Daytona Beach in High A in Florida, and then hopefully keep moving up. But it's kind of on hold.
Yeah. One thing that I have seen though with kind of maybe the return to play for the MLB is that they might up the roster size from
Yeah.
25 to maybe like 40 to 50 guys just in case someone gets sick or all like anything could happen at this point. Have you like heard anything about that? And
Yeah.
if you have like a
So
chance to crack that maybe?
so what I've heard is they're gonna up because it's usually a 25 man in the big leagues. So they're gonna up that. From what I've heard, I mean this isn't like definite or anything, but from what I've heard, they're gonna up it to 30 to 30-ish guys in the big league dugout on the big league team, and then they're gonna have an extra however many guys waiting on hold if anybody gets hurt, and if something happens, they can just go right up to the big league team. I don't know if I'll be in that group of extra guys. I don't know what kind of guys they want in that group. I don't know if they want some older, experienced guys. I don't know if they want young. There's a lot of question marks, but
Yeah.
hopefully I get the call and get to go out there because otherwise it doesn't look like I'm playing anytime soon. So um, again, it's just like a waiting game just to see.
Yeah, I was watching MLB Network the other day, and across the bottom they were running like top prospects for organizations, and I saw your name as the sixth for the Reds. So I
Yeah,
was kind of thinking like teams like might want to get their top 5 to 10 prospects on that extra roster. So kind of you're
yeah,
still on the team, you're around baseball, and you're getting the chance to get live at bats,
yeah,
live reps in the field as well. So that'd be something cool that we could maybe keep an eye out for going
yeah,
forward.
for sure. I mean, that would be at this point that's ideal. That would be great, but
Yeah,
just kind of wait and see, play by ear.
yeah. So what is like the daily life like for a minor league player?
Uh, Usually, we'll have 7 o'clock games every night. Besides Sundays, and there's some random day games, thrown in the schedule. But 7 o'clock day game at night, so we would get to the field, depending on if we had a lift or not. If we had a lift, we're there at 11 or 12 in the morning, just getting work in before everything gets started. No lift, we're there 1:30. Go and get something to eat, get changed, just go through any stretching or work in the training room that you got to get done. You do some early before we go out and stretch. So my day would be, going in, getting some early work in the cage, grab a bite to eat, and then stretch would usually be at 3 to 3:30 in the afternoon outside. Go do that. Go through defensive work outside, infield, outfield possibly, and then full BP on the field. That'll take us to like 5 o'clock ish, and then the away team will go do the same thing. We'll come in at 5 o'clock. I'll grab another bite to eat, take a shower, go into the training room and get work done. Whatever I need. Chill out a little bit, grab some TV, the guy. And then usually I'm out, get dressed, put on uniform. I'm outside in the dugout like 6:40. We've stretched at 6:45. Throw my cleats on and get loose. Games at 7. Usually probably 2.5, 3 hour game minimum. Get done, shower, grab another bite to eat. I'm out of the stadium at 11:30, and then same thing every day.
Yeah, it seems pretty busy day, and especially going from small city, living in hotels away from all your family as a 19, 20-year-old kid. It's definitely a big adjustment you had to go through.
Yeah, it's I mean, I definitely got used to it my first season. My first short season, I was away for a few months playing, so that kind of prepared me for the full season of being away and being away from home. And of course, I would like to be home and live with my family, but it's part of what I signed up for, and I knew that going in. So I'm okay with it. I don't mind being on my own. I like being with the guys, and it's an experience that not a lot of people that they've gone, just trying to enjoy it and just keep playing.
Yeah, and at the same time, if you weren't with the Reds, you'd be down in Virginia. So it's not like you were at LaSalle or something close to home anyway.
Yeah.
Either way, you're making that sacrifice of going away, but this time you're just getting paid for it faster. So,
True. It's a little bit better.
So being part of the Reds organization, they've had great outfielders like Ken Griffey Jr., Jay Bruce, Adam Dunn, Billy Hamilton. Pretty good, solid line of guys who've played there over the years since the 2000s began. Do you feel that you can kind of carry on that tradition of having good outfield play in Cincinnati in the future?
For sure. I mean, we have a lot of guys around the complex during spring training, even come visit our affiliates during the year that have played in the big leagues. Guys like Eric Davis and Barry Larkin that have been around it, so they're there to help us out a lot and just give us tips on certain situations and kind of what to do and how to go about things. So ideally, I'm part of that group eventually in the big leagues and being a big help in the big leagues, producing and just keeping that line of outfield play going. And all around, I mean, we have a lot of guys in the system right now that can really play. I mean, the big league team looks good right now. They've made some trades and some changes. So a lot of young guys, working hard to get up to the big leagues, and it's competitive right now. So nothing wrong with that.
Yeah. So last question of kind of the interview segment before we get to some more fun stuff. Projecting an MLB player's debut is never really like an exact science, but I'm sure you're in constant communication with the organization. Kind of, do you have like a goal or target date for when your eventual MLB debut could possibly be?
I mean, I'm greedy, so I would have liked to say this year or next year. Obviously, that might change a little bit with everything going on. But they talk to us about how they see us, moving up each level a year, and if you're really performing, you're skipping levels, you're heading up, on the fast track to the big league. So I mean, like I said, I was greedy. So 2021 would have been great. It's still a possibility next year on how everything goes with the situation. 2022, at that point would be ideal.
Yeah, I just feel like all organizations kind of, with all sports, their guys are kind of going to be getting a year pushed back. I mean,
Yeah.
look at, like football doesn't start on time. Like all the rookie quarterbacks who are supposed to come in and play, that could get pushed back. Like NBA draft, we don't know when that's going to be, those top guys. So it's all kind of, I mean, there's so many different effects of this virus. And sports is definitely one of the things that's kind of
For sure.
hardest.
Yep. College sports too, honestly, too.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, like if you really think about it, like the top kind of prospects like going for college basketball coming up in this season, that if school gets canceled in the fall, they're not going to be able to go to practice or anything, and they might just wind up going right to the draft, not even playing in college. So
Yeah, you see a lot of guys going to the G League too, signing
yeah,
G League contracts. I mean,
I think that might be one of the
it's
reasons
different.
why,
Yeah,
because they're like, all right, the future over there is in limbo. We don't know what's going on. Let's go get paid and still be able to play at the same time. So
yeah. I mean, I definitely think about it I was in that situation.
yeah. All right, so we're gonna do a little more fun segment here. It's a kind of a get to know you for people who don't really. So, who is your favorite sports team?
Eagles,
Eagles.
it's an easy one.
Favorite food?
I like steak. I'm a sushi guy too. I like a lot of sushi, so I'll say those two.
All right. How about your favorite vacation spot?
Um, when I was a kid, we used to go to South Florida, Fort Lauderdale area, and then I like going anywhere in California too.
All right. How about your favorite memory playing baseball?
Um, I got to play senior year of high school. I got to play with my two younger brothers. They were both on the team, so all three of us got to be on the team together. So that was probably the best memory I got.
Yeah, that's a pretty cool story. If you weren't a baseball player, what would you want to do for your career?
I've always like being a sports analyst or like a broadcaster. Not even just for baseball, just in general. I mean, I like a lot of different sports. I'm kind of interested in a bunch of different things. So any type of analyst on TV or just a reporter, broadcaster, something like that.
That's the cool thing about being a professional athlete is kind of you make those connections with those people throughout your baseball career. Where if you still want to stay involved in the game,
Right.
you can do that after your career. So
Yeah, I mean, I've seen a lot of guys do it.
mhm.
Just like ex players that have made connections and have gone right into areas like that, which is pretty cool.
Yeah. All right. We're gonna do a little Philly sports segment. Being a Philadelphia kid, who would you rather have as your quarterback, Nick Foles or Carson Wentz?
Carson Wentz, riding with him all the way.
Not foot long, not taking him.
I mean, listen, he was great for that time that he was with us, but franchise QB, uh, Carson, and I think he can with the right amount of weapons around him, he can do some damage. I mean, he could have already won an MVP easily before the injury. I see him being in contention for it this year, even though I just saw the odds for the MVP came out and he's not even on the list, which is concerning since Dak Prescott's number 3. But I won't get into that.
Do you think Foles has a chance to get his jersey retired? Even though, I mean, he won the Super Bowl, but he only played here a handful of years.
Considering there's a statue outside the link, I mean, I think that there's a chance that they might just because of the Super Bowl and everything that happened. I feel like they should wait to do that though until after Carson's done because that would kind of be
Living
a
in the
little
shit.
bit of a little bit awkward if that's going on as Carson's trying to win a Super Bowl. But we'll see what they do.
All right. So we're wearing your Sixers hat. Who do you think the Sixers should have picked Brandon Ingram over Ben Simmons?
No, no
Not
chance.
not at all.
No, I mean Brandon Ingram's good. I think he can ISO it and get himself a bucket, but I think overall Ben's a better fit here just because of he can do a lot of different things. I mean, he can easily win Defensive Player of the Year, lead, be top of the league in assists and steals. Um, he can drive the ball. Obviously, like the shot's a work in progress, but it's gotten a little bit better since he got here. And if he can develop it a little bit more, I think he's already an all-star, but he can be MVP caliber.
Yeah, that's I feel like Simmons and Wentz are kind of go hand in hand where it gets so much slander and like disappreciation from kind of I mean
Yeah.
fans love him but then they'll hate him like they're kind of hand in hand. They get treated the same. But moving on to baseball, growing up as a Phillies fan, what do you think was the most valuable piece of that Phillies core run from 2007 to 2011?
Yeah, this is a tough one. I thought about this a little bit, but um, I'm gonna say Jimmy Rollins. I gotta explain it though because he obviously he hit and he was a great hitter just like Chase Utley was, just like Ryan Howard was, but he did so much at shortstop to kind of tie up everything that went on. Um, so I think that's who I'm gonna go with. I mean, it's really hard to hit 20 trips to steal 30 bags, and he did so many different things that I'm going to say him just because he was consistent for those 4 or 5 years, even before 2007 a little bit he was there. Um, yeah, it's a tough question, but I'm going to say him.
Yeah, I mean, being a perennial like Gold Glove and Silver Slugger award kind of caliber player, he was definitely one of the big three of him, Howard,
Yeah,
and Utley kind
yeah. I
of.
mean, you could for sure make an argument for Utley and Howard easily, but
Yeah,
I don't know. That's what I'm going to go with.
I think I would have picked Utley because I just feel like he was kind of like the heart and soul of the team,
Yeah,
where they kind of ran through him. Like if he was doing well, but also the most dominant player I think you had in that era was
it was
Howard
Howard.
until
Yeah,
the Achilles tear. Then it
yeah.
kind of went downhill after that. But so who? Last question: who's your favorite Philadelphia athlete of all time?
Um, so I got between 6 or 7 in Pittsburgh. That was awesome.
Wait,
Um,
Mike, could you start over? You kind of cut out there.
yeah, so I got two athletes. Ryan is one of them. He was always one of my favorites to watch for a kid, just because he would hit home runs and watching him in the home run derby in Pittsburgh. I forget what year it was. It was either 2006, 2007. He won that, and I thought that was pretty cool. And I mean, 7, 8 years old when he just started getting going. So, he was my guy. And then the other one, I didn't really see a lot of him in person, but I still watch his highlights all the time. Allen Iverson. And I just think he was awesome when he was in Philly for the Sixers and, single handedly brought them to the finals. Um, so he's my guy. He's
No,
always been one of my favorites.
no love for Foles again. I'm upset.
Yeah, tough. I mean, he is the man, but I can't put him on the all time list. He wasn't in Philly long enough for me to put him in the
Yeah.
all time list.
All right. That'll do it with our questions. Before we wrap this up, I saw you posted on Instagram today about Quick Ball USA. Do you kind of want to talk about that for a little bit, just to get that
Yeah,
out?
yeah, for sure. So it's basically like just a league that's been going on around here mostly, and it's kind of a substitute for t-ball. So it's basically you can coach pitch the ball to real young kids and get them going with running the bases and having them see a ball out of the hand instead of a tee, obviously. And it's kind of exploded a little bit to where in this situation, a lot of kids can't really go out and play baseball in leagues this spring. All their spring seasons are canceled, and summer is not looking promising right now. So we kind of connected with them, my brother and I, and gave away a bunch of their bats and balls that they have, uh, just to a lot of little kids in the local area. So we promoted it through their Facebook or their Instagram. And we got some videos and pictures from this past weekend of just a lot of the kids that were there that get some stuff to bring home and be able to play in their backyard, even though they can't really go out into their little league field and play right now. So it was cool to see them happy and them getting something positive out of the situation. So that's kind of how we that was kind of our goal out of it.
Good stuff. It's
Yeah.
good to see you kind of giving back at such a young age, kind of helping out the next generation of kids in the neighborhood.
Yeah, it was good. I mean, we're trying to spread it, as much as we can, just to try to get as many kids around the country as we can involved. I have buddies in pro ball that are from a bunch of different places around the country. So, trying to get them involved and get them the supplies to give out to the kids that are from where they are.
Yeah, being so close to Philadelphia too. Hopefully, the work can maybe spread down to the Phillies organization. I know that would be awesome for the community down there as well. So
yeah, for sure.
All right, Mike. Thanks for hopping on. I appreciate it, and I hope you stay safe, buddy, and go Reds.
Yeah, go Reds. I appreciate you having me on.
Thanks, Michael.
All right. For sure.